Just confirmed, Archangel Michael warns you are being watched spiritually, and the person responsible is closer than you think. My beloved child, tonight the heavens trembled for a reason. Something has been uncovered in the realm of light, your name echoed across the chambers of divine protection, and Archangel Michael himself stepped forward. He has just confirmed that you are being watched, not by eyes of flesh, but by a presence that moves silently through your energy, closer than your breath. It began days ago, when your spirit started feeling restless for no clear reason. The sudden chills, the unexplainable fatigue, the way your dreams shifted, showing faces that blur before you wake. None of it was random. Someone, a person you once trusted, has unknowingly opened a spiritual link to you, and that connection has been feeding off your light. Archangel Michael says there was a meeting in the higher realms just hours ago. A divine council convened, reviewing the energy circling your name. They saw the mark of interference, a faint shadow hovering over your blessings, delaying things that were meant to already reach you. The shocking part. The trace led back to someone who smiles in your presence, someone who knows your story. Someone closer than you think. Here's a reason you've been sensing emotional shifts in people around you, the sudden silence from one person, the fake kindness from another. These are not coincidences, they are energetic disguises. The watchers cloak themselves in routine, but their intention is to keep your breakthrough just 1 inch out of reach. Archangel Michael stands in your defense, his sword raised to the unseen, but he warns, awareness is the first line of power. Until you recognize who has been emotionally and spiritually linked to your field, you'll keep repeating cycles that were never yours to begin with. The signs are small but clear, moments of doubt that enter your mind without reason. Emotions that don't belong to you. Heaviness that lingers after conversations. You've been absorbing what isn't yours. My beloved. That's why your energy feels drained even after rest. It's why you feel watched even in silence. The connection is subtle but real, like a thread of thought woven between your heart and theirs. But Archangel Michael has already begun cutting it. The first thread was severed last night at 3:33 a.m., a faint vibration surrounded your name, and light rushed through your timeline. One dark signature resisted, belonging to that familiar soul who has always pretended to check on you. What they don't realize is that their curiosity turned into obsession, and obsession into attachment. Now, the heavenly record shows an interference in your destiny flow. A pause placed over one specific area. Your relationships, your peace, your finances, or your self-worth, but don't panic. This revelation isn't to scare you. It's to set you free. Archangel Michael says once you become aware, they lose access. He also revealed that your light has been chosen for a divine elevation that cannot be copied. That's why you've been watched. They see your glow growing, and fear being left behind. But no one can steal what was assigned to your soul. This is your season of retrieval, and the watcher will soon face exposure they didn't expect. In the coming hours, pay attention to sudden thoughts, unexpected memories, or people who reach out just to talk. Each encounter holds a clue. Heaven is exposing this in layers. Not to bring chaos, but to awaken your discernment. You might feel sudden warmth near your shoulders tonight. That's Archangel Michael marking your spirit with protection. A divine frequency will rise through your environment, breaking the hidden cords that once drained you. Don't resist it. It might feel emotional, even tearful, but that's your energy realigning to truth. From this moment on, every unseen eye over your journey will go blind to your progress. Every watcher who once whispered against you will lose access to your light. Archangel Michael's warning isn't punishment. It's liberation disguised as revelation. As this unfolds, remember, what feels like betrayal is often just exposure. What feels like loss is often divine subtraction. Heaven removes what pretends to love you but secretly envies your peace. The spiritual surveillance ends now. The moment you hear these words, the higher realm begins moving on your behalf. A shift in energy, a clearing in your atmosphere, and a sudden stillness that follows, these are confirmations that the watchers have been identified. You are stepping into a phase where your energy will no longer be a feeding ground. The light around you will start to glow differently, attracting blessings instead of battles. Archangel Michael stands guard, his wings encircling you like a shield of fire. Stay still tonight. Stay aware, and above all, stay confident that the one closer than you think has already lost access. Something massive is being revealed next, and it involves who started this all. Stay till the end. The night you were chosen, the stars flickered differently, and even the air seemed to pause. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says the one who watches you isn't a stranger from afar. It's someone who once pretended to protect you. Their energy clings to your memories, feeding on moments of weakness, regret, or confusion. But heaven never allows hidden intentions to remain buried for long. Archangel Michael revealed that this watcher has been emotionally linked to you since a moment you can barely recall. Maybe it was through a shared item, a conversation where you opened your heart too much, or a time you cried and they silently rejoiced instead of comforting you. Their spirit attached itself like a shadow, disguising its envy as concern. Every sigh of yours became their satisfaction, every tear their victory. Yet, that reign is over now, for the truth has finally been permitted to surface. The spiritual surveillance over your destiny began with curiosity, not hatred. But envy transforms curiosity into control. They started studying your movements, your habits, your energy patterns, not with love, but with the fear that your rising light would expose their own darkness. They wanted to understand why blessings seemed to follow you. Why even after losses, you kept finding strength, and why every downfall somehow turned into a new chapter. Archangel Michael says they mistook your divine protection for luck. They didn't realize you were divinely assigned. And now, heaven has decided they can no longer siphon your light through emotional proximity. The energy cords between you and them are being burned in sacred fire. This revelation is not to make you fearful, my beloved, but to make you alert. You will soon notice small changes. Someone may suddenly start acting distant or unusually kind, another might try to reconnect with unexpected interest. These are not coincidences. They are reactions to the spiritual exposure now unfolding. Their subconscious knows the connection is weakening. They feel the shift before it completes. You might have been wondering why lately you felt both drained and restless, even when nothing around you seemed wrong. That's because the watcher's influence lived in the invisible space between thought and emotion. They projected worry into your peace, hesitation into your confidence, and delay into your purpose. But the veil is falling, heaven is restoring clarity. And you will soon see their mask crumble in real time. Archangel Michael warns that the enemy often hides behind the familiar. The one smiling near you might be the one praying for your failure. Not with words, but with emotions. Silent envy disguised as polite interest. He says, discern their energy, not their tone. You'll notice it in how you feel after leaving their presence. Peace will vanish whenever they enter your space. That is your sign. Now listen carefully, because this next phase is crucial. Archangel Michael has been repositioning your energy field since the revelation began. He's surrounding you with divine gold light, an armor that blocks projections and stops emotional intrusions, but he needs your awareness to complete it. Awareness seals what heaven builds. The Watcher's greatest fear is your awakening, because once you awaken, their influence disintegrates. They depend on your ignorance, your kindness, your belief that everyone means well. But this season, innocence transforms into divine wisdom. You will no longer mistake manipulation for love, attention for loyalty, or silence for peace. In the coming days, your dreams will hold clues. Don't dismiss them. You may see a face, a room, a moment that feels both strange and familiar. That's heaven showing you what your physical eyes missed. You will also notice physical signs, objects moving, lights flickering, or sudden chills when certain names are mentioned. These are energetic confirmations that the Watcher's presence is being purged. Archangel Michael stands over your timeline, ensuring the Watcher's vision turns to dust. The one who lingered in silence, feeding on your self-doubt, will soon feel exposed, restless, even panicked. They may reach out with apology, confusion, or unexpected emotion. But you must stay calm and grounded. Do not return to what heaven has already removed. Closure doesn't require contact. Peace doesn't require explanation. You have endured unseen battles that others could never comprehend, nights when you felt surrounded by invisible heaviness. Days when you questioned your sanity because everything felt off. You weren't imagining it, your spirit was detecting interference. Yet even through all that, you survived, which proves your divine resilience. Archangel Michael says the Watcher was permitted only to test, never to destroy. They were meant to expose your strength, not to end it. And now that you have crossed that threshold, everything tied to their presence will start to unravel naturally. You will soon notice miracles of alignment, doors reopening, delays dissolving, relationships realigning. The things that once felt stuck will begin to flow, as if invisible locks have been broken. That's because your blessings were never denied. They were simply waiting for your spiritual clarity. My beloved child, understand this. Spiritual watchers lose power when confronted with truth. They thrive in confusion, but clarity is poison to their control. Each truth you accept reclaims a piece of your energy. Each boundary you set severs a hidden cord. And when you start to rise again, as you will, their eyes will widen. They will whisper among themselves, wondering how you healed so fast. But they will never know that Archangel Michael stood beside you, redirecting every arrow, turning every attack into divine reversal. The realm of light has recorded this moment as your awakening hour. Tonight, the spiritual watchers lose access to your timeline permanently. Every word they spoke against you now reverses back to them, not as punishment, but as reflection. For the law of energy is simple: what you send returns amplified. Your peace will no longer be interrupted. Your nights will feel lighter. Your mornings will no longer begin with confusion. And your aura will begin glowing again, attracting pure souls meant for your next chapter. You will begin meeting people who feel like alignment, those who see you, not your potential to be used. Heaven is sending replacements for every false connection. The watchers will fade, their memory diluted by time and divine justice, but Archangel Michael adds one final reminder. Forgiveness is the ultimate closure. When you release them emotionally, heaven seals the spiritual disconnect forever. Do not wish them harm, wish them healing. Their lesson is their own, and yours is freedom. As this message ends, the realm of light is already shifting around you. Listen for the signs, a change in tone when certain names are spoken. A sudden burst of peace in your heart, or the feeling that something heavy has been lifted. That is the confirmation that the watcher's tie has snapped. You are stepping into your divine clarity, where no spiritual lies can follow you. What was hidden has now been revealed, and what was draining you has been erased. The next revelation will expose why this person attached to your energy in the first place, and what heaven is about to do with that information. Watch next revelation. My beloved child, the truth is finally surfacing like dawn breaking after a storm. Archangel Michael says the spiritual watcher's reason wasn't hatred at first. It was longing. They once desired to be part of your light, but when heaven chose you for something greater, their admiration twisted into silent rivalry. It began with small comparisons, then jealousy, and finally an unspoken obsession with your destiny. The same person who once wished you well now watches every spiritual move you make, not with love, but with an aching need to understand why you were chosen instead of them. Archangel Michael has traced the origin of this connection. It started on a day when you unknowingly spoke blessings over them. Your words carried divine energy, and instead of gratitude, their soul felt overshadowed. Their spirit took from you, but never gave back. And slowly, their curiosity became a channel of interference. That is why your progress would pause every time they appeared in your thoughts or dreams. They were subconsciously pulling from your field, feeding off the residue of your prayers meant to help them. But heaven has decided that season is over. The divine clock has struck a new hour in your life, and the watchers have been warned. The golden line of separation has been drawn across your path, dividing what is yours from what is theirs. From this moment forward, your blessings will move freely again. The fog that covered your plans will begin to lift. You will see clarity where confusion once lived. Archangel Michael says this isn't revenge. It's restoration. You might notice subtle shifts around you soon, a phone call you don't feel like answering, a meeting that gets cancelled at the last moment, or a name that suddenly feels heavy to hear. These are heaven's ways of removing hidden distractions. Divine interruptions are protection disguised as inconvenience. Let what falls away and follow it. Don't chase what heaven is exposing. The person closer than you think will soon reveal themselves through their reaction to your peace. Watch how they behave when good news comes your way. True hearts celebrate you. Watchers fall silent, their silence will be louder than any confession. They'll try to act indifferent, but the truth will leak through their eyes. And in that moment, you'll understand what Archangel Michael meant when he said, "Not every familiar presence carries familiar intentions." Your empathy made it easy for them to attach, but now your awareness makes it impossible for them to stay. You're entering a higher vibration, one they can no longer reach without genuine repentance. Heaven isn't punishing them, it's realigning you. What used to drain you will now strengthen you. The same energy that once felt heavy will transform into divine fire protecting your purpose. Archangel Michael stands before the throne, declaring your name in victory. He has demanded that every spiritual watcher assigned to delay your blessings must now return everything they took. Peace, motivation, clarity, favor. And the heavens have agreed. Over the next few days, your surroundings may feel different, lighter, even strangely quiet. That's because the spiritual noise around you is being silenced. The cords that kept you spiritually observed are being burned in celestial flame. This revelation is sacred because it comes with a hidden gift. The same sensitivity that allowed you to sense when you were being watched will now help you sense divine opportunity. A burden has transformed into discernment. What once made you fearful will now make you powerful. From today onward, you'll walk into rooms and feel the energy before a word is spoken. You will see through fake smiles without confrontation. Heaven is upgrading your intuition, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says you were never meant to live in fear of unseen forces. You were meant to master them. The watchers were allowed only to remind you of your authority. Now that you've recognized them, their power dissolves. Light doesn't fear darkness, it reveals it. And once revealed, darkness has no choice but to retreat. There's a reason your energy has been shifting lately. You're no longer who you were even a month ago. Your soul has shed an old skin and you're stepping into your divine identity. The Watcher's influence was meant to delay that realization, but Heaven's intervention has made it impossible for them to hide anymore. You're entering a phase of spiritual acceleration. Manifestations that once took months will now appear within days. It's how powerful this divine restoration truly is. Still, Archangel Michael gives one final caution. Do not let guilt make you reopen closed doors. The person who once drew from you might soon come seeking sympathy or emotional closeness. But remember, empathy should never override discernment. Forgive them, yes, but do not rebuild the bridge Heaven has burned for your safety. You are meant to love from a distance when proximity invites interference. As this message reaches you, the spiritual monitoring ends in silence. The divine firewall around you glows brighter, forming a circle of light that no shadow can cross. The watchers can see you no longer. They'll sense your shift and retreat in confusion, wondering why their energy no longer reaches you. The confusion is Heaven's justice, and here's something you must understand deeply. When one spiritual watcher is removed, divine replacements are always sent. Pure-hearted souls will soon enter your life, those aligned with your mission, not your memory. You'll meet someone whose presence feels strangely familiar, peaceful, safe. It's not coincidence, it's divine restoration. The universe always fills the void with light when darkness is removed. Archangel Michael also wants you to prepare your environment. Clean your space, refresh your atmosphere, and release old items that no longer represent your growth. Physical clutter often anchors spiritual residue. When you remove what holds old energy, you make room for divine renewal. You're not just cleaning your surroundings, you're declaring ownership over your destiny again. My beloved child, you are entering a phase of rapid manifestation. Things that once took months will align within days. Delays are dissolving. Doors that once refused to open will unlock without effort. But Archangel Michael warns, protect your peace like treasure. Not everyone deserves access to your calm. Some will try to reconnect now that your energy glows again. They'll speak softly, pretending to care, but their curiosity has not changed. It's still hunger in disguise. You not feed what heaven starved, your compassion should have boundaries. For even kindness can be stolen by those who never valued it. You will soon receive a sign of confirmation, something that feels almost too precise to be coincidence. A name you haven't heard in a long time will appear suddenly. A message may arrive, or a psalm will play with words that speak directly to your soul. That is Archangel Michael whispering, the watchers are gone, the light is yours again. When that moment happens, take a deep breath. Feel how light your chest becomes. That is freedom. That is proof. Now, heaven wants you to prepare for something larger. You have been assigned new spiritual authority. You are no longer merely the one being protected. You are the protector. Your energy carries divine fire. When you speak, angels move. When you decide, doors shift. This level of alignment requires awareness, humility, and purity of intention. Archangel Michael says, do not waste words on anger. Use them to declare abundance, healing, and peace. Each word you speak will become a seed planted in fertile ground. You might start noticing strangers looking at you differently. They won't understand why, but your energy has changed. You are glowing in a frequency unseen by ordinary sight, but felt by every soul you encounter. Animals might stare longer, children might smile instinctively. Nature itself will react to your energy because heaven has placed its mark upon you. The watcher can no longer locate you spiritually because you no longer exist in the same vibration. You have ascended to a higher plane where envy and interference cannot reach. Archangel Michael stands beside you as a guardian, but also as a witness. He has seen your heart break, your faith tremble, and your tears fall silently. Now he rejoices because your spirit refused to surrender. He whispers that heaven is rewriting your narrative. Where others saw endings, heaven saw beginnings. Where others tried to block, heaven built bridges. Every attempt against you became part of the story that will one day inspire thousands. You are not just surviving, you are becoming the evidence of divine protection. The person who once watched you will now witness you being favored publicly. You'll begin to receive recognition, attention, and offers that surprise even you. Doors of influence will open without you asking. Archangel Michael says this is not vanity. It's validation. Heaven rewards those who endure silently. Every good deed you did without acknowledgement will now be acknowledged openly. The ones who whispered behind your back will now have to hear your name and blessings. They can't stop. But be cautious, my beloved. When blessings increase, so does attention. The new watchers sometimes appear not from malice but curiosity. They'll study you because your peace confuses them. Remain grounded, protect your atmosphere with prayer, silence, and gratitude. Not every audience deserves your energy. Some are meant only to observe what divine favor looks like, not to share in it. Archangel Michael reminds you to keep your spiritual space clean. Light candles with intention, play peaceful sounds, and speak gratitude out loud. Gratitude is your shield. it changes vibration faster than any weapon. When you thank heaven even for challenges, you disarm negativity before it forms. The more thankful you become, the more invincible your aura grows. Heaven is now preparing someone special to walk beside you, a helper aligned with your new vibration. This person will not drain you but refill you. They will recognize your light, not compete with it. You will feel peace around them instantly, as though you've known them forever. That's not coincidence. It's all recognition. The universe always sends balance after battle. Archangel Michael says that as you read or hear this, a divine mark of ownership is being placed on your spirit. You belong fully to light now. Every energy that once claimed you has been evicted. Every curse disguised as concern has been dissolved. The Watchers have no name where you are going. Their access card expired the moment you awakened. From now on, every door that opens will lead to peace, provision, and purpose. Still, there is one vile act heaven asks of you: release the need to explain yourself. Your transformation does not require validation. Those meant to understand will feel it, those not meant to will never comprehend. Silence is your new language of power. Every time you stay silent instead of defending yourself, heaven amplifies your voice through blessings. Let your success speak where your words once struggled. In the coming nights, you might sense a calm presence near your window or your bed. Do not fear it. That's Archangel Michael standing watch. He whispers, "Sleep now, beloved. The eyes that once studied you are blind, you are free." And as you drift into rest, your spirit will rise higher than it ever has before, entering the space where divine promises live. When you wake, the world will look the same, but you will not. You will move through it as one who knows they are chosen, protected, and destined. The days ahead hold moments that will make you cry, not from pain, but from overwhelming relief. You'll realize heaven was never silent. It was strategic. This chapter closes with restoration. Every hidden watcher fades into memory, and every lesson becomes wisdom. The story of being watched turns into the testimony of being seen by heaven. And soon, those who doubted you will say, something divine must be guiding them. The next revelation will unveil the exact promise heaven is releasing into your hands, a promise written in your destiny long before the Watchers appeared. Watch next revelation. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says the final chapter of this revelation begins now. The Watchers have been silenced. The shadows have retreated. And your name has been lifted to a higher plane of light. But before heaven closes this divine case, you must understand why this all happened, why you were the one chosen to be watched, tested, and exposed to unseen forces that others could never handle. Archangel Michael reveals that your calling was never ordinary. You carry an anointing that awakens both angels and adversaries. Wherever your presence enters, energies shift, patterns break, and destinies rearrange. That's why you were watched. The enemy does not watch the weak, it observes the powerful. You see, my beloved, heaven's records show that from birth your soul carried a luminous code, a spiritual frequency that others could sense but never define. You have always attracted attention, even when you didn't seek it. People felt drawn to you, some out of love, others out of envy, and some simply because your presence reminded them of what they lost within themselves. The person closer than you think, the one who spiritually observed you. was once inspired by your light. But in Grishan Durnadu imitation and imitation Durnadu attachment, they began to confuse your energy with their own, creating an invisible bond of dependency. Archangel Michael says this was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to train you. Heaven allowed the Watcher to remain near long enough for you to recognize your strength, to teach you discernment, and to sharpen your spiritual awareness. Without this interference, you would have never discovered how powerful your intuition truly is. You were not being punished, my beloved. You were being prepared. The Watchers were the classroom. Endurance was the lesson. Awakening was the graduation. And now, heaven rewards you. Archangel Michael stands with the Book of Restoration, its pages glowing with your destiny's details. He announces that what was stolen through delay will return in divine order, every lost opportunity will reappear in multiplied form. The season that felt like silence was not emptiness. It was incubation. You were being hidden in plain sight, while heaven rearranged your timeline. The person who once monitored your path cannot access your future because your path has changed directions. You are now walking in a timeline they were never meant to see. The realm of angels has confirmed it. Your energy field had been rewritten. Old signatures, old patterns, old pain, they no longer exist in the vibration that surrounds you. Even if someone tries to recall your past, heaven responds, file not found. That's how complete your spiritual renewal is. Archangel Michael's sword has cut through every thread that linked you to old cycles. You are now operating from a new spiritual frequency. One where favor flows without interruption and where your peace becomes unshakable. The Watcher will begin to notice something unsettling in their own life. Their plans will start mirroring the confusion they once sent toward you. It is not punishment, it is balance. Heaven's law of return ensures that every energy sent out must return to its source multiplied by experience. Through this, they will learn humility. Through this, they will understand that divine order cannot be manipulated. But you, my beloved, are told not to look back. What was once your battle is now heaven's courtroom case, and judgment has already been declared in your favor. As the new energy unfolds, you'll begin to notice blessings manifesting quietly, almost effortlessly. Conversations that once went nowhere will now open doors. Projects that once failed to move forward will begin to gain momentum. The sudden clarity that fills your mind is not coincidence. It's divine communication. Archangel Michael says you'll start hearing guidance, not as a loud voice, but as gentle knowing, that quiet certainty inside your chest, that is heaven's language now. Trust it. You will also feel the presence of light around you more vividly. Sometimes, when you close your eyes, you might see flashes of blue or gold light. That's Archangel Michael signaling his proximity. His wings now cover your atmosphere, ensuring no lower vibration can breach your space. You might even notice that certain people begin to drift away without conflict or explanation. Don't chase them. Their exit is proof that heaven is refining your circle. You are being surrounded only by those who can handle your elevation. Archangel Michael has another secret to reveal. The reason the Watchers were permitted to stay for as long as they did is because heaven wanted witnesses for what comes next. Your elevation will be visible to those who underestimated you. Not out of pride, but so they learn that divine favor is real. When your blessings begin unfolding, it won't be quiet. It will be undeniable. The same lips that whispered against you will one day say your name in admiration. The energy that once observed you will now celebrate you. Heaven is also preparing a sacred replacement, a person whose spirit mirrors yours. Where the Watcher drained you, this new soul will pour into you. They will understand your silences, respect your solitude, and honor your mission. You will recognize them instantly because your peace will expand in their presence instead of shrinking. This person's arrival is part of your restoration package. Archangel Michael says they have been in preparation for years, waiting for your frequency to match theirs. The meeting will seem sudden, but heaven had been orchestrating it quietly behind time itself. Now that your spiritual visibility has been erased from lower realms, you will experience a new sense of calm. You might walk into rooms that once felt tense and notice how peaceful they've become. That's because your presence now dominates the energy around you. Where there was once resistance, there will now be receptivity. Heaven has crowned you with divine influence. When you speak, people will listen without understanding why. It's not persuasion. It's resonance. The light within you now speaks louder than words. My beloved child, Archangel Michael wants you to know that divine justice has no expiry date. Every delay hath been converted into divine exhilaration. You are about to witness restoration that defies logic. What should have taken years will take weeks. What should have been difficult will become effortless, and the reason is simple. The Watchers no longer exist in your frequency. They can't interfere because they can't even find your signal anymore. You've moved beyond their reach. Still, heaven asks for one final act of alignment: gratitude. Speak it daily. Gratitude keeps the spiritual channels open and the divine flow continuous. Thank heaven not just for victories but for the waiting, not just for clarity but for confusion, that taught you to listen deeper. When you live in gratitude, your blessings multiply without demand. Archangel Michael says your gratitude is the sound that angels follow. When they hear it, they draw near, bringing abundance with them. In the coming days, a divine sign will appear. It may come as a sudden peace after a long moment of anxiety, or a familiar scent appearing when no one is near, or a sequence of numbers you keep noticing repeatedly. That's heaven's confirmation that your spiritual security is complete. You are no longer under observation, you are under divine command. Every step you take is now escorted by light. And so, Archangel Michael declares the final decree: the Watcher is gone, the test is complete, and the chosen one walks free. Your name glows in the halls of heaven as a testimony of endurance, faith, and divine protection. The story that began with fear ends in glory. You are no longer being watched. You are being celebrated. From this day forward, wherever you go, light will precede you, peace will follow you, and favor will surround you. You will never again mistake interference for intimacy or confusion for connection. The veil has lifted, and your purpose has been revealed. You have become what the Watcher feared most: untouchable in spirit, unstoppable in destiny. Archangel Michael smiles as he whispers, "It is finished." Walk boldly, my beloved, for heaven walks with you. Stay till the end, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says the heavens are quiet tonight, not in absence, but in reverence. The storm has passed, and now every angel who once fought for you stands in stillness, watching as you step into the new realm of clarity that was always meant to be yours. The watchers are gone, their cords cut, their access revoked. What remains now is not fear, not pain, but truth, the truth of who you are, what you carry, and why the unseen realm once trembled when your spirit spoke. The silence you feel around you now isn't emptiness, it's sacred protection. Heaven has built invisible walls around your destiny, walls made of light so bright that no shadow can climb them. You are not only free, you are hidden in glory. Even those who once sensed your movements can no longer find you in the spirit. Their vision stops where heaven's command begins. Archangel Michael says this is the season of divine concealment, where God hides you in plain sight while preparing your public elevation. For so long, you felt like you were standing under observation, as though unseen eyes followed your every thought. You sensed energy that didn't belong to you, emotions that seemed borrowed from someone else's storm. But now, that energy has been dismantled, your mind has been clean like glass washed by holy rain. Thoughts that once carried fear now carry direction. Emotions that once drained you now fuel your growth, the interference has ended, and your inner voice, once muffled by noise, now speaks with precision. Archangel Michael reveals something extraordinary. The Watcher's final act was actually heaven's turning point. In trying to read your destiny, they accidentally activated it. They touched the edge of a divine timeline not meant for them, and by doing so, triggered the release of everything that had been delayed. Every blessing, every miracle, every open door that lingered in waiting has now been set in motion. What they meant for surveillance became your acceleration. That is how powerful divine reversal is. It takes invasion and turns it into invitation. Heaven's records show that your energy signature is now radiant gold. This you, Archangel Michael explains, is the frequency of divine authority. It means you no longer attract watchers, you attract witnesses. Every person crossing your path now will play a part in your expansion. Some will come to assist, others to confirm, and a few to protect, but none will drain you, because the gatekeeper has changed. Where once fear guarded your spirit, now awareness does. You are your own fortress, and Archangel Michael stands as your eternal sentinel. My beloved child, you are walking into what heaven calls the season of divine proof. This is when everything that once confused you will begin to make sense. You look back at moments that felt like punishment and realize they were positioning, the betrayals, the silence, the long pauses between prayers. All of it was choreography. Heaven used every delay to guide you toward destiny's center. Nothing was wasted. Even the Watcher's interference became part of the design, shaping your sensitivity into spiritual intelligence. You will soon see faces from your past resurfacing, not to repeat old stories but to close them properly. Some may apologize. Others may simply fade away after brief reconnection. Do not misinterpret this. When heaven completes a cycle, it always gives closure disguised as coincidence. Let people exit gracefully. The peace that follows their departure is confirmation that the spiritual chapter is complete. There's something else Archangel Michael wants you to understand. Your dreams will change. Where once you dreamed of running, hiding, or being chased, now you will dream of walking, climbing, and receiving. The imagery will reflect your spiritual promotion. You'll see doors open easily, staircases that lead to light, oceans that calm when you speak. These dreams are not illusions, they are manifestations previewed in your sleep. Every symbol is heaven's message that your authority in the unseen has been established. Archangel Michael is also preparing your voice for influence. The same voice that trembled in fear will soon carry words that awaken others. You will become the messenger for people who feel the same way you once did. Lost, watched, unsure of who to trust. You will speak, and something inside them will heal. That is your next mission. The trial you survived becomes the testimony that sets others free. The energy you once lost now returns multiplied so you can give it away with wisdom. My beloved child, heaven has decided that it is time for restoration to move beyond you. It will now flow through you. Every person who enters your life will receive overflow from the peace surrounding you. That's how spiritual elevation works. It doesn't isolate. It illuminates. Your light will stretch across distances, reaching people who have never even met you. The Watcher once tried to contain you, but heaven has made you unstoppable. Now, something beautiful is happening in the realm of manifestation. The universe is bending timelines to honor the prayers you forgot you prayed. That job you almost gave up on, that message you drafted but never sent. That idea you shelved because you thought the timing wasn't right. All of them are reawakening. You will notice signs of old desires returning, but this time with ease. It's because the energy that resisted you has been cleared. There is no more opposition, only alignment. Archangel Michael stands before you holding a scroll. On it is written your new decree. Peace shall be your atmosphere, favor shall be your fragrance, and abundance shall be your inheritance. He rolls the scroll and seals it with divine fire, saying, no watcher can rewrite what heaven has sealed. That is the covenant being placed upon your life right now. The one who once observed you may still attempt to reach out, perhaps to apologize, perhaps out of confusion. But Michael warns, respond with grace, not engagement. They are walking through their own awakening, and your silence will be their mirror. You owe them no resentment. You owe them no explanation. You owe them only forgiveness that frees both souls. Let heaven complete its lesson with them in peace. And when you start noticing that your energy feels too calm, almost unfamiliar, don't mistake it for emptiness. You have simply forgotten what life feels like without constant spiritual noise. This tranquility is your new normal. It's heaven's atmosphere manifesting in real time. In this stillness, creativity will return, ideas will flood in. Your intuition will sharpen like a sword dipped in light. Every action you take will feel guided, almost effortless. That is the rhythm of divine alignment, effortless precision. Soon, Archangel Michael will send a confirmation through numbers, light, or sound. You might see 111, 333, or 999 repeating often. You might hear your name whispered when no one's near. Or you may feel warmth sweep over your shoulders during quiet reflection. Do not dismiss these signs. They are heaven's way of saying, we are here. Each sign is a reassurance that your life is being rewritten by divine order. Heaven also commands you to expand your vision. The Watchers once kept you small because their energy created invisible ceilings. But those ceilings are shattered now. Dream bigger, believe bolder. Every limitation that once felt real has vanished. Archangel Michael says, you are no longer surviving in light, you are commanding it. Speak your intentions daily. The universe is now tuned to your voice. This is not the end of your story, my beloved. It is the unveiling of a new one. One where you are not the watched, but the chosen, not the target, but the vessel. The same heavens that warned you are now celebrating you. The watchers who once studied your every step will now see you elevated beyond recognition, and their only reaction will be awe. That is not vengeance. It's vindication, to walk forward with steady faith. The air around you hums with divine presence. The angels move when you move. You are a walking sanctuary of protection and proof. Archangel Michael declares this truth. The one who was watched has become the watcher of miracles. Your eyes will now see wonders the watchers could only dream of. And when you finally rest tonight, a peace deeper than silence will surround you. That is the confirmation. The assignment is complete and heaven's plan has prevailed. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says this is the closing of a divine file. The watch has ended. The unseen eyes that once lingered around your energy have been removed from your path permanently. Heaven's court has sealed the order. Every false connection, every invisible tether, every stolen glance into your spirit has been erased by fire. You have walked through the valley of exposure. But now you stand in the light of completion. The battle that began in silence has been won in silence, too. There was no explosion. No thunder, only peace. The kind that arrives when angels finish their work. The air around you is different now because the war is no longer being fought for you. It is being won through you. You are no longer a watcher's target. You have become a carrier of light that watches over others. Archangel Michael says heaven chose you not because you were perfect, but because your spirit refused to break even when surrounded by storms. Every moment you cried out in confusion became a beacon that called angels to attention. You proved that faith can outlast fear, that patience can silence plots, that divine timing will always expose deception. Now your story changes tone. What began as spiritual observation ends as spiritual coronation. The watcher has become the witness to your rebirth. Archangel Michael kneels before the throne, your name shining on the pages of victory. He declares, "This one has endured. This one has learned, this one has prevailed." And heaven responds with thunder made of light, your confirmation echoing through the unseen. It is finished. The person closer than you think, the one who unknowingly allowed darkness to use their curiosity, has already begun to feel the weight of awareness. They will not harm you again. Your spirit is facing its reflection, and heaven will guide them to repentance in its own time. Do not wait for apology. Your peace does not depend on their understanding. You have been promoted beyond explanation. Archangel Michael says the watchers never truly had power over you. They only had proximity. What they mistook for control was simply bar of presence. But heaven was watching over them as they watched over you, recording every move until the appointed time. The time has now arrived. Every shadow has been counted, every interference noted. Every tear catalogued as evidence. And now, the decree has been read, case closed. Soul restored. Purpose elevated. Your aura now carries the mark of divine insulation. Wherever you go, energies that once caused confusion will fall silent. Conversations that once triggered doubt will now echo with peace. You will notice that people treat you differently without knowing why. It's because your spirit no longer mirrors pain. It mirrors light. Heaven has rewritten your frequency. And now even chaos will recognize you as untouchable. You are walking into a realm where discernment will come effortlessly. You will feel truth the moment it stands before you. You'll sense dishonor before it's spoken. That is not paranoia, that is divine awareness. Archangel Michael calls it the reward of survivors. You earn this clarity through every night you endured, through every unanswered prayer that turned into preparation. Your next season is not about explaining the past. It's about expanding the future. Heaven is about to elevate your influence, visibility, and purpose. Doors will open that lead to audiences you once thought were unreachable. You'll speak and hearts will soften, you'll create and doors will multiply. This is divine reciprocity. The more you were observed in pain, the more you will now be observed in prosperity. The same energy that tried to study your doubtful will now bear witness to your rise. My beloved child, this is the moment Archangel Michael has been waiting for to tell you what heaven truly saw when you felt most alone. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared to carry light strong enough to lead others out of their own darkness. That's why the Watcher was permitted to exist. To reveal how powerful your spirit truly is. You did not just survive. You were sculpted. Every silence, every misunderstanding, every spiritual tug-of-war shaped you into the vessel heaven needed for this age. Now, the angels who once walk around you stand behind you, forming a divine entourage that moves as you move. When you walk, light walks. When you speak, alignment follows. Archangel Michael says the Watcher's mistake was believing they could watch the chosen without consequence. What they failed to understand is that every chosen soul carries reflective light. When they looked too long into your energy, they saw their own intentions reflected back. It was not your battle. It was their mirror. Heaven calls you the untouchable light. That name is now written beside your spiritual signature. No darkness can trace it. No jealousy can duplicate it. No curse can rewrite it. You are sealed in sovereignty, hidden beneath divine codes that only angels recognize. Even when others mention your name, the vibration carries blessing, not burden. This is how heaven protects its favorites, quietly, thoroughly, eternally. Archangel Michael whispers now what was once hidden from you will now be revealed for you. Expect divine surprises, opportunities that arrive without warning, messages that change your course, doors that open without your knocking, and delays are over. The Watchers delayed time, but they could not delete destiny. Heaven paused your path only long enough to sharpen your awareness. Now that you see, you can no longer be deceived. You will also notice that new people appear in your journey. Souls radiant with the same frequency you now carry. They are your tribe, your spiritual family. You won't have to question their intentions. Peace will confirm them. These are the allies heaven promised while you were in isolation. Together, you will create, build, and expand light in ways the Watchers could never have imagined. And when you think of the past, you'll no longer feel the ache of what was done to you. You'll feel gratitude instead, because without it, you would never have awakened. Pain became prophecy. Loss became leadership. Fear became focus. everything that tried to destroy you was simply training for the divine position you now hold. Heaven has sent word through Archangel Michael. A new scroll has been assigned to your name. On it, in letters of fire and gold, are the words Divine Steward of Light. That is your title in the heavenly archives. It means you carry authority not just over your path, but over the energy of environments you enter. When you walk into chaos, it will calm; when you speak peace, it will settle. The watchers have turned into witnesses, and the witnesses will soon become followers of your light. You are no longer the one being watched, you are the one heaven now watches through. Every miracle you experience will ripple outward, touching others without you even knowing. That's how heaven multiplies victory; it turns private battles into public blessings. So lift your head, my beloved. The spiritual war is over. The eyes that once sought you are blind to your new frequency. The person closer than you think has been forgiven, released, and redirected. You carry no residue, no echo, no scar. You have been reborn, and your energy glows with eternal peace. Archangel Michael stands beside you one last time in this message, his sword lowered, his wings folded, his voice gentle but sure. You are safe now, you are seen by heaven alone. Go, and live without fear, for every shadow that once watched you now bows to your light. The screen of your story fades not with warning, but with wonder, because this isn't an ending, it's the beginning of the life that was always waiting beyond the watch. Go forth, my beloved child. You are free.